From canvases that stuffed multiple superweapons into our galaxy, to expendable goobers wielding the universe's most sacred tool, these pieces of concept art very nearly changed Star Wars as you know it forever. I'm Gareth from What Culture Star Wars, and here are the 10 best Star Wars deleted concept art scenes they never filmed. Number 10, Chewie held captive by Kylo Ren, The Rise of Skywalker. For all of the things fans are yet to agree on when it comes to J.J. Abrams' Skywalker saga ending The Rise of Skywalker entry, one of the few moments that dealt just about everyone in attendance a seemingly fatal blow was the apparent death of everyone's favorite Wookiee, Chewbacca. Of course, it later came to pass that Chewie had merely been taken captive, and the whole impact is ultimately softened by the eventual rescuing of said lovable hairball. But initial concept art released sometime after the 9th episode landed revealed that things actually got a bit dark upon Chewie's capture. The illustration itself shows Chewie being strung up and likely force manipulated in a similar fashion to how Rey was in The Force Awakens. Additional metal apparatus can also be seen behind the original trilogy icon, hinting at some diabolical tools being used to get Ren the information he so desired. Though this scene was said to have actually been played out fiercely by Adam Driver on set. As revealed by Chewbacca actor Juna Suotamo, fans have yet to witness it for themselves and likely never will. Number 9, Stormtroopers wielding lightsabers, A New Hope. The first outing for George Lucas's Galaxy Far, Far Away went through its fair share of alterations, from initial gripping concept art to the eventual footage that would later change the game. And arguably one of the most interesting changes made to the series' big bad unit came in the form of the weapons they would be using throughout the original trilogy. As seen in concept art for A New Hope that was masterfully created by Ralph McQuarrie, a scene depicting the Empire's hopeless stormtroopers wielding the weapon of the Jedi and Sith, that being a lightsaber, was once pitched as a possibility for that first Star Wars flick. It's also worth noting that the other troopers in the shot also appeared to be holding impressive shields, another tool that was ultimately dumped by the time it came to shoot the 1977 film. Having this sacred weapon be more generally utilized across the galaxy would have likely diluted the impressive lightsabers from the get-go. But at least we sort of finally got a big screen nod to this art in the form of former trooper Finn throwing around Luke's blade in The Force Awakens. Number 8, Chewie and Han go into battle, Solo, A Star Wars Story. Though not an awful lot of goodwill has been washed over what is classed as arguably the biggest live-action flop in Star Wars history, Solo, A Star Wars Story did still give us a decent amount of background when it came to the origins of a friendship that would go on to form one of the foundations of the series as a whole. And while the first interaction between the iconic pair was sweet enough, with Han Solo and Chewie duking it out in a prison before deciding to team up and leave Mimban together, the concept art created by Aaron McBride for this particular sequence hints at a much more dramatic and explosive coming together. In these shots, Chewie and Han are shown battling their way through gunfire as they try to get off planet, with the latter even suffering a blaster shot wound as the legendary Wookiee drags his new pal through chaos. Sure, it likely would have weighed down an already 2-hour-plus spin-off, but it would have added more significant weight to the pals' burgeoning partnership had it been committed to film. Number 7, Padme tries to kill Anakin, Revenge of the Sith. Making up part of arguably one of the most jarring scenes laced into Revenge of the Sith, the moment Padme Amidala confronts the love of her life as he slips further into the depths of the dark side, broke more than just the former Queen of Naboo's heart. But what makes this unfortunately executed desperate plea for Anakin Skywalker to refrain from heading down this dark path such a hard pill to swallow is the eventual realization that something far more compelling could have taken its place. Revealed in Ian McKay's concept art for the 3rd episode's Mustafar sequence, Padme actually arrived on the lava planet with the intention of ending her love's life with a knife. As McKay would recount, the scene would have played out in a hugely different fashion to what we ultimately got. She gets off the ship with the knife, she runs up and throws her arms around him, and he lets her. She's got the knife to the back of Anakin's neck and she's going to kill him. Again, he lets her, but she can't do it. The fact we could have got this instead of what we actually got is still breaking my heart. Number 6, Big Green Solo, A New Hope. As you've already seen, many a plan was thought up before ultimately being scrapped by the time George Lucas's first Star Wars ship blasted off into hyperspace. But arguably the most significant scrubbed away developments can be found in the look dreamed up for a certain well-known smuggler. Though not actually formally realized in early concept art, Han Solo was initially thought to have been a Euralian, therefore being a big green alien with gills. Of course, he'd eventually be brought back into the human race as each new draft for A New Hope was scribbled. But that still didn't stop a non-canon comic known as the Star Wars from visually realizing this OG version of the smuggler. Said Dark Horse comic shows off the towering green Solo, known for hunting down Wookiees on their then home planet of Yavin, throughout and gives us a few intriguing glimpses of what life could have been like had Harrison Ford been buried in makeup and murdered his eventual pals Rey's for banter. Number 5, Rey wields a blue double lightsaber alongside her pals, The Rise of Skywalker. When Colin Trevorrow decided that he wasn't all too keen on the direction Disney were aiming to take the galaxy far, far away in 2017, the Jurassic World director took with him a whole host of concepts that would have likely come to pass in his previously titled Duel of the Fates 9th episode. But along with eye-catching new ships, some Knights of Ren, and captivating locales not realized in the eventual Rise of Skywalker flick, another ridiculously cool shot was also eventually revealed when concept art leaks from that OG version of the feature trickled onto the internet. Fighting their way onto the Eclipse Star Destroyer, Finn, Poe, and Rey are spotted all in action, with the two lads seemingly in callback stormtrooper disguise, and Jedi Rey sporting an impressive double-bladed blue lightsaber. On top of getting to witness the sequel gang battle it out side by side during their quest to hijack a damn Star Destroyer, the introduction of Rey's undoubtedly awesome blue Maul-esque blade would have been a real first-time ever moment for the franchise, and felt like a missed opportunity by the time the eventual flick made its debut. Number 4, a troll attacks the Ewoks, Return of the Jedi. Yep, you heard that right. There was once a world when an already surreal series of events took a turn for the balmier during the finale of the original trilogy. Judging from early art design for the film that would eventually take on the moniker of Return of the Jedi, our hero's adventure on the forest moon of Endor would have likely hit one giant's green speed bump at one point in the day. And no, I'm not talking about the alternate version of Han Solo. Said concept art designs involved what appears to be a giant's green troll showing up to the Ewoks tree village to cause a little mayhem. Though we didn't actually get to see Luke, Leia, Han, and Chewie take on this freakish beast in the 6th episode, the idea of a green troll-like alien wasn't entirely scrapped from the Star Wars universe after this art was left out of the flick. Instead, the lesser-watched Ewoks animated series let loose a devious species known as the Dulocs that massively resembled this concept art monstrosity. Number 3, The Emperor's Hot Palace, Return of the Jedi. Keeping with ideas not given the green light in that last original trilogy, hurrah! A moment that would go on to be immortalized as one of the most captivating sequences the entire series has to offer once looked entirely different on paper. As seen in yet more Return of the Jedi concept art that wasn't deemed worthy enough of being cinematically committed to for that 1983 project. The early location design for the Emperor's exchanges with Luke Skywalker and his pops Darth Vader had the trio occupying an entirely different spot than the Death Star they eventually landed on. Seen perched on a formidable throne, Ralph McQuarrie originally had Darth Sidious take residence in a magma palace of sorts as the two Skywalkers looked on. This would ultimately form the basis of the world that would come to be known as Mustafar in later installments, though the art in question appears to take place entirely under the surface of the planet. Very hellish indeed. Number 2, a giant alien monster invades the fight of the century, Revenge of the Sith. There weren't half a few ideas thrown at the wall when it pertained to the fiery embers seen bursting out of every pore of the molten world that is Mustafar. As yet another conceptual design once destined for this planet makes its presence known on this list. Brought to life in Sang Jun Lee's stunning concept art for the highly anticipated duel between Master and one-time apprentice Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker respectively in Revenge of the Sith, a frankly terrifying creature was originally pitched to intrude on the warring lightsaber wielders during their emotionally charged fight amidst the flames. Despite it likely adding another intense and dramatic layer to an already epic showdown, the additional CGI injection would have likely taken too much focus away from the real tension of the scene, that being the emphatic final nail in Anakin's Jedi coffin. Regardless of whether or not it made any sense to pump into the climactic moment though, there's no questioning that this Mustafar monster would have made for one of the most intimidating alien foes to take on the well-known Force users yet. Number 1, 2 Death Stars? Return of the Jedi. What's more intimidating than one planet-killing superweapon? That's right, 2 world-massacring orbs in the sky. Sensing that the Empire would have likely felt the only way to see off those dastardly rebels would be to significantly up the ante by the time of Return of the Jedi, Lucas originally thought the only way forward for the villainous menaces would be to forge 2 more, slightly smaller Death Stars. These diabolical creations would have been brought into being whilst in the orbit of the planet Had Abaddon. the same place that would later become known as Coruscant, with its lower levels housing the aforementioned molten throne room of the Emperor. Feeling that 2 moon-shaped space stations with the capacity to annihilate entire worlds would maybe be a touch of overkill, Lucas ultimately scrapped the dual Death Star angle and opted for just the one instead. But that still doesn't change the fact that the sight of 2 destruction domes spinning around this stunning new world would have made for one hell of a visual at any point in the original trilogy ender. And that's our list. Know of any other awesome Star Wars deleted concept art scenes they never filmed? Let me know all about them in the comment section right down below, and do not forget to like, share, and go and click on that subscribe button. Also, make sure to head on over to whatculture.com to find more articles just like the one this video is based on if that's the kind of thing you're looking for. I've been Gareth from What Culture Star Wars. May the Force be with you, and thank you very much for clicking on this video today. Bye bye.